Welcome to Kaizen 724. Today we're going to talk about the 5 things that you can do to avoid burnout with your key employees. Look, the COVID-19 pandemic has forced a lot of companies into doing things they didn't want to do. One of those things was downsizing. And whenever you have downsizing and you keep your key employees, you're going to have to give them added responsibilities, new hats to wear as it were, in order to fill the gaps. Because in some cases, entire roles were eliminated and everyone had to dig in and help the company to succeed by taking on added responsibilities. So you could potentially have a scenario, here we are 1 year later, where people have been previously doing really well in their role and responsibility, but now with new and added responsibilities, not only were they doing their old job, but perhaps half of another job or even a whole nother job. And they might not have been really good at that particular role. They weren't hired for it, they didn't select it, they didn't interview for it, but because they're a team player, they took on the added responsibilities. Here we are a year later and we might be seeing cracks. And we all know that when you've had success and then you're not quite as successful, that can be disheartening. And this could lead to employee burnout. There's also added pressure on the supervisors and the people managing those folks because they too are being held responsible to drive results for the company. So what can you do? Well, as I mentioned, there's going to be 5 things that are going to help alleviate this issue and make your employees feel better about themselves and about the work that they're doing. So what are those 5 things? Let's get started. In order to keep this video short, I can only cover the highlights of this process in general detail. If you'd like to learn more about how to implement an effective strategy like this, go ahead and fill out the form below and schedule a discovery call with us. For those that schedule a call, I will provide a complimentary outline that does have more detail than this video. All right, let's get into those 5 points on how to avoid that burnout. Here's item number 1 on our list. Conduct an employee well-being check. Now, I will provide details on how to structure and organize this in the paper which you can obtain. But keep this informal feeling. Make it a conversation. Give the employee a platform to tell you how they feel, what their needs are, so that you get valuable information and can make the adjustments necessary to keep your employees engaged and happy. Item number 2 is follow up on that appointment. Before that appointment is over, make sure you set a day and time to follow up on addressing the concerns that they've given you. Number 3, have a rewards and recognition program that loudly and proudly celebrates the sacrifices and successes these team members have made during this crisis. Number 4, use a smart tool like TTI-SI's engagement report. This report will help you understand the individual motivators that your employees have so that you can tailor the environment to more effectively motivate them as an individual person. And number 5, take the information you've gained from your well-being checks, from the assessment, and realign your organization and make sure you have the right people in the right roles. And if you still have to give people stretch roles, you're at least taking the information from the assessments and changing the environment so that it's motivating to the individual. So those are the 5 things in brief. As I mentioned, the paper will discuss in more detail how to execute on this vision so that you can make sure you retain those key employees. Thank you for tuning in. This has been another continuous improvement discussion with Kaizen 724.